Yeah, I mean, I see him every day. That boot on his foot's getting smaller and smaller, day by day, working to getting back on his 2 feet. And, he's as optimistic as he can be, right? I mean, that's such a devastating injury, especially that time of the year, the last game of the season. So, I felt for him, obviously, in the moment that it happened. I felt for him ever since, just checking in with him often. And, like I said, he's had the best mindset just about it, and continue to stay optimistic and knowing that he'll be back stronger than ever.
What's it been like just working with Nick now on the defense? Just how has that been different so far? It's early, but just how's that process going?
Yeah, it's great. I love Nick. I love what he brings to the table, and I think he's always been a really smart and valuable asset to what we do on defense. Ever since he came on the team, he worked a lot with the linebackers early on, and kind of has bounced around with some of the defensive backs. And now he has his opportunity, to lead the defense. And I have full confidence in him. I think the way that his mind works and his ability to teach is exactly what you want. And so I'm really excited to work with him.
Have you had much contact with Brandon Staley? Has he been involved with you?
Yeah, he's been around. As I've been working out here, we got a couple opportunities to just sit and chat with one another. And I love, what he's going to be able to bring to our defense and kind of implementing different things in his mind, the way that he works. You could tell, that he's been around for a long time and knows his stuff. And so I'm excited to have him as well.
What was your reaction to seeing Armstead get cut? A little bit surprised, big surprise?
Yeah, I mean, huge surprise. For ever since I've been here, that's been, we called him the blueprint for how to be a Niner. That was the longest tenured Niner that's been here, and a guy that's done it right through and through. To say I've been in this thing long enough where at this point nothing surprises me. There's decisions that have to be made. This is a business at the end of the day. And, for him, I'm happy for him and the new opportunity that he has in Jacksonville to go and succeed there and provide for his family. And we obviously got some big shoes to fill at that position. And it's not up to just one guy to just come in and be the new Eric Armstead. It's going to take, the whole group to elevate their game to make up for that. So, yeah, I'm sad to see him go for sure.
Any sense that, not you personally or several of your guys, but that this core group may not have much longer to go, just exactly intact like that?
That's part of the business. I don't know how long the core group is going to be around, and you got to treat every year like it's your last. And you don't know how long you're going to be together, so you got to make sure that you go all out every single season that you have, because that window for winning Super Bowls, it's not always open, but as long as I've been here, it's been open, and so we got to make it happen.
Do you feel like this draft is especially big because of that? We know the window's still open, and you guys are obviously very good. And do you want to see guys drafted who can help right away?
I mean, I always want to see us draft great players. You don't want to see us draft bad players. So I think, the draft is always really important. Obviously, you see how important it's been here, and guys playing a lot of snaps, as rookies and as young players here in this organization, and being staple players for us. And so I am excited about the draft. Every year is important for the draft, though.
Fred, tell us about Nick Sorensen and what you think of him, and how you think he's going to ascend to the DC spot.
Yeah, like I was talking about, I really like Nick. I think, having played the game for a long time, he knows a lot of ball, and I think he did a great job the last couple of years of doing the ball meeting. People talk about, how important the ball is around here. Taking the ball away, protecting it on offense. He was the one that ran that meeting and did such a great job with it. In part of doing his job on defense, but has that leadership ability to be able to stand in front of a group and command the room. So I think he's going to do a great job. I'm really excited about him.
How much does his experience in your system in the past, how much is that going to help the transition this year as opposed to last year where it was a little challenging?
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. I think it'll be a great transition. That helps, the fact that he knows the system, has been around it, and we just got to get better at the fundamentals and technique of what we do, as well as implementing, some tweaks in there as well, because we've been running the same thing for a long time. Teams know we're running. We're not afraid of that. They know we're running, but we're going to run it better than whatever they know that how how we're running it, right? So I think that's the whole key to what we do. But there does have to be kind of some tweaks in there to make sure that we are switching things up a little bit. And I think Nick's gonna do an amazing job.
How much of a role do you expect to have in terms of those tweaks and actually shaping what the scheme looks like?
Oh, my role's always been to just go out there and execute whatever they tell me to do. You know, I'm obviously at a point in my career where I'm extremely confident in my abilities and helping lead the group day in and day out. So I'm going to continue to do that and find ways to get better to ultimately help the team win games.
Do you think that's why they brought in Brandon Staley, to sort of have a new set of eyes, because teams do know what you guys are gonna do, and he can sort of help you kind of go in a different direction?
Yeah, I mean, you can never have too many smart guys in the room. You know, I think he knows a lot of football, and having a guy who's been successful in this league, especially on the defensive side of the ball, you know, and playing in, or coaching in different schemes, I think for sure is to our advantage and can help us a lot.
Brought a lot of new faces added to that linebacker core once the communication bid with them.
It's been great. You know, I love every year, you know, when we add to the group. Devondre's been obviously awesome as a seasoned veteran in this league, and I've watched and admired his game for a long time, being an All-Pro and Pro Bowler, and adding into the group I think is going to be really big. And Ezekiel being a stud for Arizona for a lot of years. We came out the same year, and I always knew 47 on Arizona because that was the guy we were always circling in the special teams meetings as the guy that we had to stop, you know. And so I think both of them as free agents, and then whoever we had in the draft, rookie-wise, I think is going to make our room better.
Fred, having gone deep in the postseason for the last 5 years, when you get the band back together, what is the bigger toll that you have to face? Is it the physical part of playing those extra games, or the mental part of coming so close again and just you're starting 0-0 all over?
Yeah, they're both tough. It's hard to choose one because I mean the mental part is real, right? Like you talk about not only the mental, the emotional toll of, man, we were so close, man. And it takes everything out of you. You've got to make sure that you're really intentional about your off season. You know, however long or short it may be, you got to be intentional about getting that getaway, get your recovery in, and get that reset. Because when you come back, you got to be ready to go. Nobody cares about what happened last year. You know, teams who either didn't make the playoffs, teams that made the playoffs, won the Super Bowl, didn't win the Super Bowl. Everybody starts on the same ground level. You know, and no, I'm excited. I'm rejuvenated, ready to go. You know, everything's ready, set, go. Let's go.
Fred, when it comes to big contract extensions with the Niners, and those in recent years, there's often a lot of drama.
No.
Yeah. Might be happening again. Yours was kind of the exception. You signed relatively early, mid-July, and we didn't hear anything about that. I mean, was it pretty drama-free, and do you have any advice you could send maybe your teammates?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's always you know, a lot of things happen behind the scenes that people don't see. Even though people, you know, you say that I had a drama-free experience. My experience was great. You know, there was constant communication between my agent and you know, the guys who were involved in that deal, and we got something done that was, you know, great for both sides. But anytime there's that amount of money on the line, you know, you're talking about, you know, tens of millions of dollars that you're being paid to, you know, to perform at the highest level. It's going to take time, you know, and so whatever that takes. And you see that obviously even the guys that a lot of things happen behind the scenes or out in the media or behind the scenes or whatever, after it's done, you usually don't really hear about it again, you know, and those guys usually perform at a high level and do a lot of good things for us. So yeah, I mean, there's, you know, whatever, it is what it is. It's part of the business. And yeah, I can only speak on my experience, right? So.
Fred, you were the recipient of the Dwight Clark Award, and this year it's going to Dre Greenlaw. How proud are you of him and what he's become in his NFL career?
Yeah, I'm so proud of him. You know, and I kind of made my little statement about him winning the Dwight Clark Award, and it was a huge honor for me last year winning it. And I kind of spoke a little bit about Dre and the type of teammate he is and what he means to this team. You know, guys or people outside the building, they see Dre and they see him on Sundays making the big hits and the splash plays and going crazy. But I mean, we have so much respect for him in this locker room and who he is as a person and a player, the way that he comes to work, the things that he's overcome in his life and in his career. And so, I mean, it's no better person to win the award this season or this year than Dre.
Within a couple of months after the Super Bowl, you and Brock both had like life-changing events. You had your first child, Brock got married. does that stuff fit in, and does it take some of the sting away, or are they just totally separate? How do you sort of process that?
Yeah, I mean, that's my number one, you know, having, well, obviously first marrying my wife, and then now is having our first baby boy together. That goes above everything. Family is number one for me, and then the football stuff comes second. And that doesn't mean that football doesn't mean is not as important. It's not important to me. But yeah, I had to obviously get over that loss pretty quick because I had something that was really important coming up. And you know, I think that they both play hand in hand as well. You know, I think now I have even more to play for in this game. I already had a lot of motivation, a lot of inner drive, but to look at my son every day and know that I'm playing for something else as well, it could get pretty scary.
Was that first pitch of the Giants game a sleep deprivation?
Yeah, so like the pitch, we can go in detail about the pitch, but you know, I guess that's what happens when when you don't warm up. You know, you overshoot it, and then or I guess you don't overshoot, you undershoot, right? So yeah, I'll leave that to sleep deprivation. I like that.
Do you think you should get another opportunity to?
I would
make
love
up
one.
that?
I would love one. I would never turn it down. I don't care how bad I dirt it.
Were you throwing a certain
You heard
change?
about that in the locker room?
Surprisingly, no. Yeah. Yeah, I guess guys don't care about baseball.
I mean, you pride yourself on preparation.
Exactly. I was very underprepared for that. And I should have been way more prepared. I'll get a couple more practice throws next time for the next one.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys.